My 28 meters GF28F told me last night that when I was living in another city at the beginning of our relationship that she slept with another man. I could really use an outside view on infidelity here. So in the last year I rekindled a relationship with a girl I loved growing up. The trouble is I lived 1,600 miles away in CO. Our long-distance relationship grew and I decided to move back to my hometown. I left a great living situation in hopes to build a better life with her, among other reasons like being closer to family and friends. I close on a house in 2 days and the plan was to have her move in with me. I've been 100% invested in this relationship, even though it's my first in 10 years. She has a 5-year-old daughter and I've stepped up in a big way to be a father figure to her and a super supportive BF to her mother. I've also stepped up in a big way professionally with a new job and to support her and provide a home and comfortable lifestyle. Last night she tells me that she can't move in with me and she isn't good enough for me. She's said this before BC. She has low self-esteem and I've always written it off and assured her that she is. This time she told me that while I was still in another state, she slept with another man. At that point in our relationship, we had told each other that we were in love and I was working to leave my great job and move home. I would tell her I'm coming home for you. And that's when she slept with another man who she said she saw as a friend. I love this girl. And I know she loves me. That's why she told me before we moved in. And I know that I'm the best thing that ever happened to her. She hasn't had a lot of positive male figures in her life. But she betrayed me early on and kept it from me. I work extremely hard and always try to do the right thing. Now I have doubts about keeping someone in my life that could do that sort of thing to someone they love. I'd love to be able to work through this because she makes me so happy. She seems like she's my soulmate. Is this something we can come back from? She's not your soulmate. Or if she is, you are not hers. Sorry dude. Dude, when someone tells you they aren't good enough for you, believe them. She is telling you because she knows she will cheat again and likely has in previous relationships. Having a kid makes it worse. You grow to think you are its dad, but when you break up, and you never see the kid again. Yeah man, I'm seeing that now. As things stand, I don't think I can be around someone that's going to let me down on that grander scale. I met my boyfriend online. We lived in 2 different countries, in opposite sides of the world. Around 6 months after we started talking, we started developing feelings for each other and we were 7 months apart until he could fly to me. After that we flew together to his country and we are firmly committed to each other. Never ever crossed my mind during those 7 months to be with other people regardless of my self-esteem. I think she is not taking you seriously enough and she is not samely in love as you are. You have crossed your own country to be with her and did every procedure and she is repaying you with cheating. Could see some kind of forgiveness if this happened years ago, but it has only happened 3 months ago. You deserve better. That was my big thing. It never occurred to me to even want another woman beyond a mild surface attraction, even with the long distance. You love her way more than she loves you. That is very clear. She loves a nice house and a good provider, as a person not so much. Leading a confession with "I'm not good enough for you" is manipulative. It's designed to make someone into the victim before the confrontation starts. It sends you into caregiving mode a la "No, babe, that's not true, you're amazing and so lovable," right before the moment that they're going to be held accountable for something. In short, "I've wronged you, feel sorry for me." I dated a woman like this, and I should have walked the first time this happened. The more I put up with, the behavior just continued. And it was always the same thing. She would get sad, talk about how she was a terrible person and then confess to the latest thing, or person, she'd done. Felt sorry for her. I thought she was just broken and recovering from a tough childhood/bad marriage. No, she was just manipulative. Is every case the same? Definitely not, but it's her "I'm just such a terrible person" act that concerns me. It also concerns me that she waited until you'd moved back, made major life changes and initiated the purchase of a home. It's possible that she figures you'll give her another chance because you've come this far. This will be your relationship moving forward if you choose to stay. And if she was already sleeping around during the honeymoon phase, she's not nearly as interested as you are. You were only a couple of months in. That's when two people are supposed to be crazy about each other. Definitely not the time where we start firebombing boundaries, then confessing after someone's moved across the country for us. Enjoy your new home. Use some of that hard-earned cash to make it into your dream place. Put down healthy roots, and be kind to yourself. You'll find someone who you won't have to coddle when she hurts you. Someone to share this nice new home with you. Trust me, you'll be so much happier. COVID. My uncle died of COVID 2.5 hours ago. I cope with death a little different, I guess. My boyfriend came home and I'm not sure how the conversation started, but he said, I'm done with COVID, I'm not even going to try and not get it anymore. Whoever gets it and the strong survive. I honestly don't even know how to feel or what to say. Lord have mercy, dump his ass. It's guys like that who keep this pandemic going and got your uncle sick. And I'm so sorry for your loss. That's heartbreaking. Wishing you peace and love. Honestly, that's callous and cruel on more than one level. I would look him in the eye and ask him why he thought that was okay to say to you on today of all days. He's wrong. By the way, strength has nothing to do with it. I survived, though not at all unscathed, despite having chronic illnesses and disabilities, and people who were the pinnacle of fitness died. This disease is relentless without rhyme or reason, and if you can't trust him to safeguard your health, please be elsewhere. Bloody hell. I'm sorry that his response was so entirely inappropriate and unsupportive. It sounds as if this has only just happened, so I'd recommend talking to him, letting him know how hurt you are, and taking things from there. I'm not excusing what your partner said, but I wonder if it came from a place of fear. I can imagine that it's pretty scary to be working 11-hour shifts in a city ravaged by COVID-19, especially when people in your community aren't taking appropriate steps to keep everyone safe. Add to that the fact that the virus has just killed someone close to you both. He's probably feeling unsafe and full of stress hormones. He might be in fight or flight mode, and if that's the case, he'll likely be more reasonable later. Just wanted to add, if he does feel more reasonable later, then I sure as hell hope he gives you an apology, because I think you deserve one. I had a BF once try to break up with me when my cat died. He couldn't take me being upset and apologized soon after. That relationship ended up being a train wreck. People tell you who they are. He's someone who will react to your grief with anger, baby fits and bullshit. I hate to say it, but what happens if you have a miscarriage? That's gonna be hard on him, but usually it would be harder on you. He seems like the type to have his own drama and not be there for you, or to do things that actively hurt you because he's in grief or can't take the stress, so he uses that as an excuse. I would get out before anything worse happens in your life that you may need support for, is all I'm saying. First, let me say I'm sorry for your loss and the callousness of your significant other. I just set up a living will and power of attorney paperwork a few weeks back, and it made me think about my current relationship with my significant other should I become incapacitated. Trust her 100% with the decisions regarding my health should I not be able to make them. If you follow your relationship to a logical conclusion in that you may get married, may also have to set up wills, do you trust your partner to make those same hard decisions for you? But furthermore, I think he's given you a true insight into his character. The strong survive is pretty darn telling that he doesn't have empathy for others, especially in light of the current circumstances. I don't know the dynamic you two have, but from the short paragraph, I'd be wary that this lack of empathy may turn on you should you decide to break up. Please be very careful if you decide to leave and move out. Bring a friend or a relative to help you move things out, and do not be alone with him after you've made your decision. Boyfriend won't stop making NHZ jokes in Germany. 26F, 24M. He thinks he is being edgy and cool. He does not fully understand the toll World War II took at the heart of Germany. He likes repeating the old anthem to me to gaslight me. Not to mention a lot of what he is doing could get him and me into trouble. We have had a surge in right-wing nationalism lately in Germany. How to get through his thick skull. I'm German too, but answering in English. BC, that's what the sub dictates. A. He's too old for that. B. Did you take him to visit a nearby concentration camp? Was never like him, but after visiting Auschwitz, I get sick to my stomach when people talk bad about Jewish people. If he's too immature to even behave there, consider C. C. Dump him. D. Ask r/to what to do, because that's culturally quite a specific question. Freude 10. Visited Dachau once, which was sobering enough, but years later I was living in Germany and took a random drive around my Schwarzwald area. Started following signs directing to Vulcan because it didn't make sense there would be a volcano anywhere near. Turns out Vulcan was an old iron forge in the forest that had become a teeny tiny, Odekleine, concentration camp, consisting mostly of immigrant workers from the area and, if I recall correctly, home to only around 60 people. There were remnants of the forge, an info plaque or two, and a memorial sculpture with some recently placed wreaths. And this was truly sobering. Even in the middle of nowhere, an actual operation had become a place of imprisonment, with many of the prisoners having been immigrants who worked the forge or in other industries in the area. How anyone can make jokes about this sort of thing, especially in the originating country, surrounded by reminders of the travesty, is beyond me. You are the standard you sleep with. Sounds like your boyfriend isn't mature enough to be in an adult relationship. This DB ultimatum level for me personally. There's a reason he thinks these things are funny and I can't think of a single good one. Why would you want to be with someone who thinks this is funny? There is no way for you to make him understand. This is who he is. It cracks me up how gaslighting is never used correctly on Reddit anymore. I guess most people think it means doing something I don't like. Anyway, did you tell him what you told us? Telling him that he's not funny and should be embarrassed might be enough to shut him up. If not, you should reconsider being with a person who thinks fascism and the deaths of millions of people were funny. Oh indeed. I was downvoted to oblivion yesterday for making this point. A lot of clinical buzzwords are thrown around on here with little consideration for their actual meaning. Tell him you don't want to date someone who acts like they're in high school. Lol.